Okay. So, today we have an opportunity that Jacob is helping somebody build where kids get recognized and find opportunity. And I've mapped out on my Miro board here in my office with him this because, it's an example of a client who's not on Miro with us already. So we'll transition to that. So, you do need, if you don't have something like Miro, you need something like a whiteboard, right? You need some markers and an eraser and the ability to maybe slide something, or you might want a hinge on your board so your folks can see. But this is a great sales tool also to say, all right, do I understand what you're saying? And also the angle that we're on the camera right now is conducive because we're looking at something together, right? We are literally looking at it together. And so now we're gonna shift from that over to the idea of Miro. All right. And the best way to, I'd say, approach that would be with a screen share where we get to see our Miro interface. Okay. Can everybody see my dashboard?
Yes.
All right, great. Now, we've been using Miro for a long time. You may or may not have anything like this, but this is a paid account, and the best way I'd suggest that anybody interfaces through their dashboard is the recent boards. These are the boards that you've worked on recently, and we today are actually going to create a new board, which we'll do here. And if you want other people to work with you on that board, the first thing that you're going to need to do with a new board, and one of the reasons why it's helpful that Jacob's here, is you exit this menu and you go right over to your share options in the top right corner, and we'll say a demo board for sprints, because we're going to walk you through a very similar process that we would for any client. And that, as a note, is on weekends where we take boards like this and dev teams and people understand that know how to work through this interface with us and our clients, and we'll build prototypes in a weekend of different projects. And that happens with something that allows you to move very fast on projects. So access for any of the clients or whatnot would need to be set up, and we'd probably do this ahead of time for the sprint. We have embed options, which are great, and different ways that we can utilize this for our team and community in the Miro community. And so I would copy this link, and then I would go up to, if I was with people in the chat, I'm going to send that over to you on Zoom. So go ahead and join me there. And that will set up anybody to be able to join. And you can set different options here, like edit, comment, view, or just no access at all. You can even set a password on the boards, and you have different options for your team, which are just really great as well. So, all right, so moving on here, on the left, we are going to switch over to the different features that we have. We have different things that we can make, like text. Hello world. There we go. Awesome. We can make some sticky notes and put hello world inside of them, and they'll adjust their text size inside the sticky note, which is convenient and sometimes inconvenient. The Shapes tab will allow you to do the same thing, where you can make different shapes and access an even larger group of shapes, where we can pull stuff from AWS or other things if you have a more upgraded account. But in our case, we just want a star. All right, so try to put a star up there real quick. And then you can click the middle of any object once, click any object and then try to click the middle, and then you can type in the name or words or whatever you want inside that. You can also, now that we're on the object and we have it open, we can change any of the font that we just have in there, which I'm a fan of Lemon Tuesday. That makes my hello world, I'd say, a little bit more fun. And let's make that bold. And let's change the background of this object to red. And I'd like my text color to be white. I think that looks a lot better, but I don't like the outline of that. I don't want the outline. So I'm going to change that to thickness 0, and I'm also going to make that transparent. So I have a nice hello world. And you really can't see it very well. I'm actually quite proud of what I've created, right? I hope other people are. And they make stuff. So we're going to blow that up a little. And oh, we'll leave it right there. And that all happened pretty quickly. So I'm going to try to leave a note and say, it's not easy, it takes practice. How about that? We'll leave that there. And you know what? It helps to leave comments that don't have typos. So I'm going to edit that again. And you can see now that there's a comment from me and my avatar, or is that wave. Moving on. Okay, so now we have the arrow.
Can you go back to how you left a comment real quick?
Sure, yeah, so select the object real quick, and then go to this, there's a, oh boy. I'm back on the board. All right, so there's a button that says comment. And as a free user, you may not have that, but I don't know what you'll have on your end. But when you're selecting the object next to the color, there's a button called comment. You can also lock the object to not move, not be movable at that point in time, or editable. And if you want to unlock an object, you need to do a long press on it, which will unlock it, and that's stuff that people can look at over time. Also, there's 3 dots on the far right of that toolbar. Click on them. And here's one thing that I really want people to understand is that there is a copy link button. So there's copy link right here. And let's say I make a sticky note that is way down here on the board. And I'm going to bring you to me. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to the widget that we just made. And we'll say this is the path to the widget, like Minecraft, right? This is sort of like a teleport. Okay. So click on that and it will take me back to the object that I want to go to. Cool, right? So there's links to each of these, and let's say you want to bring your client just to this. Let's say it's a template, which is one of the items we didn't go over, which is a button on the left. And we've actually made some templates for sprints here at Smart Founders, or some of the other things that we've run before, many of these sprints over weekends. And we'll bring in a template like this. All right, and so this is a fresh sprint canvas that we would then fill in the mind map, competitive advantage, business model, visuals of that, breaking down the value, where the value is actually coming from in the business, and what customers would be willing to give, not just money, but like the different values and roadmap, pro forma, all that, right? We can have it all right here, right? Everything that the idea needs to launch in a weekend, and probably 6 weeks to 8 weeks of rollout after that. So I'm gonna bring, oh, nice. Jacob Ballmer left a comment. Ballmer left a comment. Awesome, and you're already over here, right? So that's an example of a template. There's also a comments button over here. One of my favorites is the pen, and that's when I have a stencil and a tablet, because I can take notes and draw on here on my tablet in a very very pleasing way, in a very satisfying way. I mean that for any creative that wants to get that out, right? That idea out of their head. like almost like Gandalf, or not Gandalf, but the Harry Potter guy who's pulling thoughts out of his head and he's putting them in the thing. That's what Miro became for me. It's like this is where I can save this stuff. I don't have to have it all in. Oh, you want to talk about that? Okay, great. Here's all this stuff that I left to even remind myself. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
It's fantastic. Absolutely. So I there's also an upload and at the bottom and different we missed one first. So we have frames. So there's this little box here. Okay? So it's called frames. Make frames around each of your objects real quick. Okay, so when you press F on the board, or you can press the button for frames over there on the left, I'd recommend you do it with the button first. And then you can use the shortcut of F if you want after that. Can you label yours chapter 4, 5, and 6, please? Change the name of the frame. Okay, now go to the bottom left of your screen to the little button down there that has two slashes in it, and now it's the same frame button, but it has two slashes in it. That'll open up on the left a series of chapters. Oh, we have some other frames because of the template, so let me just get rid of that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that you should see a change now. We should have less going on.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, what we can do is see that if we click any one of these, it's going to take me right over to that.
No way.
Yeah, so these can be treated as like chapters. You can walk somebody through your board.
So how do you pull me over to a board like what you've been doing there?
That's in the top right, up next to the share button. That's right here, where I would click on your face if I want to follow you. Okay, I'd click on your avatar. And if I want to, I'd click on my own, and you see how I have two options here? It says bring everyone to me or bring to me. And so I'm following you, so I'm stopping that. And now I'm going to bring everybody to me, which there shouldn't be much of a change, but now there is, right? Because your view is now following mine. And that's because I'm the board host or facilitator.
Okay.
And I think most people have that option on a pretty standard basis. If you're watching mine, there is, whoops. Oops. Okay, great. So if you're watching mine, there's also a few features I want to mention. The timer is great. I think me and you have used this before, where you can even play music like chill beats and engage everybody to say, all right, Jacob, in 1 minute here, organize in the frames area, the chapters area, organize all those boxes by number. So you'll go to the frames and you'll move the actual chapters so they're in the right order. So when you brought somebody in, they go through the order you set them up in. It may not have been the one you built them in, but you can reorder them to go through the right flow.
Okay. So on here, I'm trying to go find that timer. Okay, I see it now.
Yep, perfect. There's even a little voting system up here. You can set up voting. Like, what should we do? Or we're going to vote on this or whatever. You know, this is a collaboration board. You know what I mean?
There's all sorts of tools. That's super cool.
Lots of tools. Okay, but the goal was to make sure that the frames were all in the right order. Is that all done?
No.
Okay, no, that's okay. That's okay. So let's go to the bottom left to the open frames control. And let's get these in the right order. So currently chapter 3 is the first frame, and that should be the third frame.
So you just drop it and drag in?
Oh, not on the board itself. So Control Z that, or put it back. Yep, that's fine. Go to the actual, if you need to watch my screen, okay, so I'm gonna go to the bottom here to open frames, okay? So I'm opening up the chapters on the board, all right? And then I would actually move this up to here. And then this one is chapter 4. Okay, so that needs to be after 3, right? Of course. I need to find chapter 1. Where's that? Move that to the top. So grab it here and move it up to the top here. Perfect. So now people will go through it in the right order, right?
Yeah.
And so we've got 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. So if let's say, grab everybody, stop the follower, grab everybody, then you can experience this too. So we'll go to the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And that's a really cool way. If you saw the video I made for husbands leveling up, the community we do for anybody watching this recording that supports husbands making their relationships better. That is how I made that video, just hopping around on the board there, to different things. Yeah. Let's see. So other features as far as training, there is more apps for sure. There is limitless stuff, it seems like at this point. Stuff I've honestly haven't kept up on and things, but there's ways to work with Jira. You can do Jira cards in here. You can run with Smartsheet. This is a lot of times for organizers, folks who are coordinators, et cetera, the facilitators, trainers, things like that. Oh, heck, dude, look, there's an org chart. Sweet. Now we have an org chart for some business that we might build. That's great. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Location, even has location and everything. See, you love that stuff,
I
right?
do. I absolutely love that stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. What are some other? Okay, now the templates, second button from the top on the left, there, right under the mouse or the cursor icon, templates. Open that up. That just gets nuts, right? So there are so many templates. Like, is there a template of something that you'd like visually on here that you just haven't found yet? Let's use the search bar to find it, right? So we're in all templates, and we're going to search for the template that we want. What would that be?
Let's look for a SWOT analysis or a pros and
Got
cons.
it.
Do pros and cons. I want to do pros and cons.
Oh, you don't want a SWOT? Okay, or SWOT. Let's see what that is, but we'll do pros and cons. So yeah, we got lots of SWOT, right? Lots of different templates we could use, but pros and cons. Okay. Okay, any one of these look particularly familiar or useful for you? How about this pros and cons list?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Let's try that out. So we're just going to use the template versus previewing it. So here's what it is. So this is what it loads up on the board as. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's got all the sticky notes ready to just rock and roll, it looks like. Can we just drag those and put them in the pros, put them under the cons, huh?
Try it. Does it work?
Um,
Yeah, so this is pretty awesome. Also, there are ways to use reactions and raise your hand. I just raised my hand. If you saw anything pop up on your screen, that means I need some help. I'm one of the
Oh,
people in your session, Jacob, and I need some help. You're my facilitator. I just raised my hand saying, hey, I'm one of, 1,000 people working on the board right now, or working on something, and the board is like a source of truth. It's where I can host all my documents, at least visually, right? So people don't have to go into Google Drive, or they don't even need access. They can just have view access right through Miro. It's awesome.
so if we got 1,000 people working on it, let's say Bryant and Jacob want to not get on a phone call, but is there a way that I can send you a message on there? So you raise your hand. I see that I want to help you. Um, is there a way that we can communicate just you and me through there?
Is there a way that we can communicate just me and you through here? Yes, there should be chat. So that's in the more apps at the top left or top right. So let's collapse this back down to what it would be normally. It'd be these little show apps,
Yep.
right? Okay, show apps, and then you need to hit the two down arrows, which is more apps.
Look at that.
Yep, and then we have chat. What is talk track? I don't even know what that is. Board recording feature is not supported yet for now. Board recordings beta is only available in latest versions of Chrome browser. Okay, great. So I'm on Opera, so it doesn't like me. That's fine. What is private mode? Private mode. Content on sticky notes is hidden from others until private mode is turned off. That's dope. So that's cool. That's sort of like editing mode, right? Okay, see, so
So you could essentially open a chart like pros and cons, already have it pre-done, but ask a group of people to put their pros and cons in, and then bring up yours and show it in full right side by side, and just hide those notes. But you say, this is what I come up with, this is what you came up with, really different, or man, these are really similar. We're right on the same page, right?
are you getting a video
Yeah, John.
thing? Let's hop on there since we're about to get kicked off Zoom anyways. Let's see what's up. If not, I'll call you if we can't connect.
All right. Yeah, I joined.
See if we can figure it out here.